In our transformations unit, this time we're going to transform figures using rotations. Now, in a rotation, the figure is turned about a fixed point. Turned around a fixed point, like the middle of a wheel. Oftentimes we're going to be using the origin for this fixed point. In fact, for this class, that's what we're going to almost exclusively use. For a 90-degree clockwise turn, we're going to, let's use this as an example here, rotate 90 degrees clockwise. So the thing with when we rotate around a point, so if we're rotating around the origin, rotating 90 degrees clockwise, so like a clock, clockwise we're going to be going this way. So starting in, this is quadrant 1. When we name quadrants, we name them counterclockwise. And so if we're rotating clockwise, this figure, all those points that are in that first quadrant are going to end up in the fourth quadrant. And where the 90 degrees comes in is it's the degree that's formed when we connect that point to the point of rotation, and when we connect its image to the point of rotation, they'll form a 90-degree angle. So with lines and segments are perpendicular, or they form 90 degrees. They form 90 degrees when they have opposite reciprocal slopes. So this slope here of this line here goes up 2 and over 1. So to find where the next point is going to be, we're going to, instead of going up 2 and right 1, we're going to go, instead of up 2, we're going to go over 2, and then instead of up, or instead of right, we're going to go down. So this line here forms a right angle. Notice this one goes up 2 and over 1, this one goes over 2 and down 1 to form that right angle. So what that looks like graphically, so that C here, it was at 1, 2, now C prime is at 2, negative 1. 2, negative 1. So if I follow that same rule for B and for A, I'm going to, instead of for B going up 1, over 1, 2, 3, I'm going to go over 1 and down 1, 2, 3. And for the A, instead of going over 2, or instead of going up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, instead of going up 3 and over 2, I'm going to go over 3 and down 2. There's our A prime, there's our B prime. So if I went a little bit faster, that's okay. Let's slow it down. So B prime, opposite reciprocal means we're going to switch our x and y. And one of them is going to be made negative, and it's the negative depending on what quadrant we're in. So going from quadrant 1 to quadrant 4, I'm still going a positive x direction, but I'm going a negative y. A prime 3 and a negative 2. So going over 3 and down 2. So our rule for the 90 degrees clockwise is we're going to switch x and y, and we're going to make what was our y, or sorry, what was our x, now our y, its opposite. When we go counterclockwise, the reverse is going to be true. We're going to switch x and y, but instead of what was our y, now our x is going to be opposite. For 180 is much easier. 180, it's like we make a 90-degree clockwise and then we make another 90-degree clockwise. So we're switching our x and y, and we're switching them back again, except both of them get made negative. So negative x and negative y. So it's still x and y, but now they're both negative. So for this second example, rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise. So going counterclockwise, m is going to become m prime, and we're going to switch x and y. And according to this rule, we're going to make the y its opposite. So what was y was a negative 3, now it's a positive 3, and the x gets to still be a negative 5. So the m, when I rotate it counterclockwise, Counterclockwise is going against the clock. Okay, we're going against the clock. So this m is going to end up over here. So it was at a -5, -3. Now it's going to be at a +3, -4, 5. And we'll do the same thing for other points. So A was at -2, -3. Now it's going to be at a +3, -2. Change our y, or switch our x and y and change the sign on our y. Switch our x and y and change the sign on what was our y. Now our x. H prime, +5, -5. So now A is going to be at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, down 2. Our T prime is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, down 2, T prime. And our H prime, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the negative direction. And there's our rectangle. Notice the rectangle has been turned 90 degrees. Since we're rotating around this point, if you connect any point in the pre-image with the point of rotation, and with any image, or with its corresponding image, connect that with the point of rotation, notice they form that 90-degree angle. To rotate 180 degrees, so rotating that same figure 180 degrees, we're just going to make both x and y negative. So A prime is at -2, -3. B prime at -3, -1. C prime at -1, -2. So for A, so instead of being at 2, 3, is now at -2, -1, 2, 3. And C, or B, was at 3, 1. Now it's going to be at -3, -1. B prime. And C, C prime, or C was at 1, 2, so C prime is going to be at -1, -2. Notice how it's completely turned around 180 degrees. If I connect any point in the pre-image with the point of rotation, the origin, and any point in the pre-image, or sorry, in the image with the point of rotation, notice they form a straight angle, 180 degrees. Okay. We're going to go through these other two together in class and touch on a couple more things about those 90 degrees, 180 degrees. There's another thing that should be noted is whether we're rotating 90 degrees in one direction or another, you could rotate the opposite direction and go more than 180 degrees. You could go what's called a reflex angle. So going 90 degrees clockwise is the same thing as going in the opposite direction, 270 degrees. So going 90 degrees clockwise is the same as 270 degrees counterclockwise. Or going 90 degrees counterclockwise is the same as going 270 degrees clockwise. So you may see problems that indicate that. Okay, we'll take a look at those other two together in class. I will see you then.